All right. This is going to be an initial impressions of the Hati S Ace Plus and the Hati S 4K Plus. I do have a cast on my arm, so um, this is just an initial impressions. That's why I haven't really been making videos. I didn't want to put it into its own separate video. I didn't want anybody like feeling bad or anything. But I did have surgery, and I've had the cast on for a few weeks. But let's get into this. So these were sent out. Obviously, I really don't care. I just like reviewing things and I like using things. And if it sucks ass, I'm gonna tell you it sucks. So yeah, this obviously I was not paid, nothing like that. But if it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good, and I will go over also things that I have seen from other people, I've been told from other people. So yeah, first we're going to get into my initial impressions is that this is not a standard Hati S shape. This is a little bit bigger. Obviously, I will need to do more testing on the shape. I literally have a cast on my hand, but just going off initial feel. But I'm just a notorious not fan of the super light shape, so that is kind of a low bar for me. But I am a fan of the Hati S shape, and this is just a little bit bigger. Now, there is something very interesting about these mice, and that's what you get in the box. And I will go over that in just a few seconds, but I do want to get these specs out of the way of both of these. So the price points, the 4K comes in at $159 for the white, and this is $120 for the Ace. And I'll go over the specs real quick. So they both have Huano microdot side buttons, DTC gold encoders, and Zippy 60M main switches. They're amazing choices. Just to spoil this immediately, 20 million times better than your standard Omron you're gonna get anywhere on a lot of mice. And the Ace has a 3395 non-Nordic MCU, I believe, and the 4K has a 3399 Nordic MCU, and they both have motion sync, obviously. And this is a little bit interesting. So they do use a different debounce method from, sorry, I'm looking at a spec sheet real quick. They both do use a different debounce mechanic, I guess you could say, from other mice. I believe these use eager debounce, which is basically a better way to use to implement debounce to your mice. And yeah. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So the structural integrity of these mice are like seriously great. G-Wolves used to have some really creaky mice. These are like actually great. It seriously surprised me. And looking over I guess what they did is they used the PCB to support the sidewalls, which is extremely smart. There's literally no flex, and these are 50-gram mice. There's no rattling on either of them. Yeah, there's just off initial feel. Maybe they'll deter over time, and I'll have something to say about that in my review. But just off initial impression, they feel phenomenal in hand. But let's get to something that's extremely important, and that's the colorways. No, I was gonna go into the box, but I'll just tell you the colorways real quick. So for the 4K, you can get teal or pink. I believe it's just white for the Ace right now. But let's open the box up real quick. So we'll open the 4K. They both come with the same exact things. Okay. So I did open this before just to see that they both came with the same things. I forgot to put my smelly packet back in, but you do get a lemon scented smelly packet. And you get two of these, I don't really know what you call them. I guess you can charge your mouse with your phone. Someone requested to put these in. They're like USB-C connector thingies. I don't have a use for them. Someone might. But for the Ace, you do get a blue cable, same with the 4K. But for the 4K, you're actually recommended to use this gray cable that's included because better shielding and more consistent 4K, I believe. And I would like to mention I had no issues hooking the 4K up to my PC. I had no jittering, nothing like that. They worked great. They worked with all my USB ports, everything like that. So you do get red grips. Obviously you get your like whole manual thing, and then you literally just get an envelope full of stuff. And when I mean an envelope full of stuff, I literally mean like it's kind of insane actually. And I just hit my mic, I'm sorry. So you do get the sticker that's usually on the bottom of the mouse. I'll move that out of the way. You get your lemon scented packet. Feet. So these little tools right here, this is something that's been a little bit controversial. So they have like these little ends to them. You can kind of see right there. So what they are is these mice don't have on and off buttons. And that might seem a little hassle-some, but I don't actually think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be. So the on and off button is right, sorry, I'm doing this with cast right here. You use this tool to like kind of pick it, and there's like a little switch in there. You can see it pretty well. The mouse automatically turns off after like 2 minutes. But it immediately, like if you just move it, it like automatically goes back. So you never have to turn it on and off. And people are like, oh, what if you need to put it in your bag? Just disconnect it. It's going to be fine. I don't actually see why there's so much hate about that, but it's, people like to hate about small things, I think. But yeah, so there's a ton of stuff. Oh, and you also do get included glass feet. I do have those on my 4K. They have a cool design on them. Not really a huge fan of glass feet in general. I do have some on my Starlight. These are the LGG ones. These are the G-Wolves ones. They do feel much different. I maybe I'll get into that in the review, but I'm just not a general glass feet fan in general, so you're not gonna get very high opinions or a very nice opinion off of me. But yeah, so I'm gonna clean all this stuff up, then I'm going to turn the camera back on. Okay, so another thing I do find quite interesting is that the 4K is the little pill-shaped extender, and the Ace just has a standard one, and there are no issues disconnecting it. I know a lot of people had issues with like this top coming off. That's not an issue anymore. Now, what do I think in conclusion? I can't see myself saying, wow, I hate this mouse in the full review, but we will see how it holds up. And that's really going to be the end of my initial impressions. And yeah, bye, I guess.